Hey everybody, Dirili here. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of X Malice along Kei Okazaki's route. He was unfortunately absent most of his episode yesterday, but hopefully he'll peek in some more. Please don't be an absentee boyfriend, I hate those. I know you're mysterious, but come on. Alright, well anyway, we're getting some case files here from Sakuragawa, or whatever she can actually give us without getting herself in trouble. You can just sit back, relax, and let me read you a story. I can only give you the CSI memos, the evidence list, and autopsy results. Is that enough? Certainly. Gotta make do. When I nodded, Sakuragawa brought me a stack of files from a shelf deeper in the room. You'll have to read them here. They can't leave this area. Thank you. Alright, I had to give this a thorough read. Hopefully I can notice if anything's off. For a while, I engrossed myself in the files. That case was a little unnatural. Huh? I turned around in surprise at the voice. Hi, Ichika. Kei, I've missed you. I haven't seen you since the fire. How in the world did you find me here? Did you stick a GPS tracking device on me? Hello? Wait, why are you here? I had business at the police station, and I saw you coming in here. Haven't I been sitting here for a while? So I followed you and ended up here. Ended up here? He had mentioned that he had something to do here this morning. I heard that the SP were secretly coordinating with local jurisdiction. Maybe he was meeting with the security division. While I pondered that, Sakuragawa lightly clapped me on the shoulder. You even know the SP. What's your relationship? Huh? What's that supposed to mean? I wonder if I can reveal that I know Yanagi and his team. I thought she already knew that because Sasazaka talked to her about it. Our relationship, huh? Hey, Ichika, should we keep it a secret? You're making things worse already, Kei. What? Why is he asking me? You look like you're too embarrassed to say. That's why it's a secret, right? Aww. Hey, Okazaki, don't say it like that. Will they? It's right, though. What do you mean, will they? I think they messed up. I think the last sentence was supposed to be something like people would take it wrong, and then he would have been like, will they? They probably changed up lines somewhere and didn't realize it. I'm pretty sure it isn't. I couldn't think of any way to accurately describe my relationship to him. Friends? Acquaintances becoming friends? Watching me panic, Sakuragawa grinned. Oh, she can see the crush forming. Well, aren't you a smooth operator? Looks like you're a girl after all. Like I said, we're specifically not like that. This is headed in the wrong direction. So, I'll put these away if you're done with them. But I'm not, I just sat down with them. Wait! I grabbed the files as Sakuragawa started to leave with them. Are those the files on July? Yes. Instead of berating me, Okazaki now looked curious. Can I see them too? An SP officer, Okazaki, like myself, wouldn't have authority to investigate the case. I looked to Sakuragawa for a response. It's none of my business. How sweet of you. Leave us to romantically look over evidence together alone. She returned to her own work. I think she was enjoying this. I suppose that reaction meant he also had her permission to see them. It looks like she's okay with it. Let me see. I don't know. Well, it's not like you can deny him. With a tinge of uncertainty, I turned the page. A crime had occurred in Kabukicho. There was a lot of foot traffic at the time. Let's see, investigation mode. Murder weapon. The weapon was a 15-centimeter knife. Shimizu owned it. He was carrying it, presumably to attack Sugawara. The only fingerprints on the weapon were those of the victim, Shimizu, and the assailant, Ogata. No fingerprints for Sugawara, it looks like. Wouldn't that be obvious? I'm just interested in the possibilities. Let's keep reading. Okay, let's see. Person of interest? The deceased, Shimizu, was age 29, unemployed. He was suspected of stalking the same woman previously. and Rika Sugawara is age 25, an office worker in Shinjuku. Shimizu had reportedly been stalking her for a few years. Damn, that's a long time to stalk. That's serious stalking when it's going on for years. There are police records of her reporting the stalking multiple times. There's the anti-stalking law, and it sounds like she did talk to the police, but they wouldn't act unless something actually happened. This could have been prevented if they just did. There are all kinds of cases like that. Reports have to be prioritized. There's no helping that. It looks like the guide says I have to investigate some things twice? Blood on the knife belonged to two people, Shimizu and Ogata, so Ogata was injured too. Because he tried to stop Shimizu from going wild. Defensive wound on his arm. Only one, huh? Wouldn't there normally be more than that? One is too few in a scenario like this. It sounds like Shimizu was wildly swinging the weapon. I wonder how Ogata managed to disarm Shimizu with his enraged state. That's written in the interview report. Ah. So 2 sources of blood on the knife means Sugawara wasn't injured by the attack. She did well to avoid it. That means Ogata completely defended her when she was just inches from getting hurt. July murder weapon added to materials? Okay. So now we have to look at person of interest one more time. The passerby and assailant, Tomoki Ogata, is age 34, and an office worker in Shinjuku. He's changed jobs twice in the last 2 years. Probably because he was a suspect in the police abductions and murder in May. He was taken in on mistaken arrest by the deceased officer. He was suspected of acting in revenge. He's got quite the history here. Huh? 2 years ago, he stepped in to stop a fight on a train platform. One of the men fell onto the tracks and died. That's why Ogata was arrested. And in May, the cop that arrested him was killed. So Ogata was suspected again and thought to be acting in revenge. He had an alibi, though. And in July this year, he happened to stumble upon a stalker attacking a woman and killed him to protect her. Quite heroic of him. That connects him to 3 deaths. He's been under suspicion before, which caused him to repeatedly change jobs, yet he jumped in to stop an attacker once again. What if he's just really motivated by justice? But it says that he has no prior association with Shimizu or Sugawara. This would make a lot more sense if he did. It isn't easy to go this far for someone you've never seen or met before. July suspects added to materials. And here's the scene and situation. So apparently you have to look at everything twice. According to witness statements, a woman screamed, and then there was confusion. A man attacked her while calling out, "Let's die together." Then Ogata, a passerby, jumped in and grappled with Shimizu. We've covered this already. And it says, while they were grappling, Shimizu dropped the knife. Ogata picked it up and used it against Shimizu. I guess if he was on drugs, it'd make sense for him to be disarmed or drop his weapon, but this feels like it went too smoothly. All accounts agree that a man attacked a woman, and the person that stepped in was also attacked, and used the knife to stab the initial assailant. Let's look at that one more time. Oh, look at this. One of the statements is a little different. The passerby Ogata twisted Shimizu's wrist. What if this is how he got Shimizu to drop the knife? These accounts are not necessarily reliable. Another one here. It says that Ogata said something when he stepped in to protect the woman. There's no record of what he said, though. We won't get anything else out of this. Alright, so we're done with that part. Let's see. Now we look at the state of the body, I guess it is? The cause of death was blood loss resulting from a knife wound to the heart. Only one wound, deep in the heart. He probably died instantly. He didn't even have time to say anything. It probably looked like an instant kill to anyone in the area. That's what bugs me. Huh? Let's keep reading. Go back to that again. Why do I keep looking twice? Can't they just do it all in one go? There's an addendum, too. The autopsy also turned up some drugs in the victim's system. According to Sugawara's testimony, the victim said, "Let's die together," before attacking, so he probably wasn't in a sound mental state. When he attacked, Ogata, a passerby, jumped into the fray. Bystanders witnessed the melee. I wonder if he said anything. Huh? Are you suggesting that Ogata said something to further provoke Shimizu? He wasn't in sound mind to begin with, so Ogata getting involved just provoked him further. Well, it would be an understandable reaction if he thought Ogata was getting in the way. Maybe Ogata being there made things worse when Shimizu was already under the influence, and that pushed him over the edge? I don't think that makes sense. Autopsy added to materials. Here we go, the ground. There wasn't a typical coin or Roman numeral at the crime scene. Yes, that's why no one thought to connect it to X day at first, but... Later, the coin and Roman numeral 6 were discovered at the victim's home. Some within the police believed that Adonis took advantage of the situation and claimed responsibility for it. If we assume that it was completely unrelated to X day, that would mean Adonis had to immediately locate the victim's home after his death and plant the evidence before the police showed up. That would be the only way to spin the accident as one of their own attacks. But that's not very realistic, is it? Yeah, since April, Adonis has been very deliberately staging these incidents. It wouldn't be necessary to latch onto an unplanned homicide. So that means that they would have had to have prepared every part of this out from the very beginning. I'm gonna check that one more time. Did you notice something about the train? I feel like we might have overlooked something. There weren't any lost belongings at the scene. All I found were Shimizu's wristwatch and the knife he used. Wait, what's this garbage-looking thing in the photo? It's just trash. Ugh. Ichika, I'm pretty sure that the photo was taken for evidence preservation, and that forensics scoured every nook and cranny. You're right. Sorry, I was just spinning my wheels. No need to rush. What's important isn't that we find mistakes, but take stock of all the information there is. Okay. Alright, now we're done with that. When we finished looking through the files, Okazaki muttered something. This is strange. Yeah. As we looked through the files, several problems had arisen. If this really was an X-Day killing, then there had to be a clear reason to kill Shimizu. Assuming that was true, then the scenario wasn't an accident and was full of holes. Sugawara was completely unscathed by the attack. The assailant, Ogata, was a passerby. Ogata disarmed Shimizu, and Shimizu was on drugs. There was a nagging feeling that the entire incident had been set up. Okazaki, the part you think is strange is that Ogata stabbed him in the heart. The one-hit kill technique, used by someone else we know as well. That Ogata killed Shimizu with a single thrust to the heart. Yeah, I'm impressed. You have good instincts. I thought it was something that was easy to notice if you read the files closely. Maybe, but there's a lot of confusing information. I'm impressed that you picked that out. I'm happy to be complimented, but... does he really think I'm that thoughtless? Oh, I had mixed feelings about it. Sorry, that's not what I meant to imply. Okazaki's expression clouded, as if he had read something from my face. Oh. This stood out to me, personally, because I'm in the SP. I was just surprised that you had the same perspective. What do you mean by an SP perspective? Why don't we go over how the assailant Ogata claims that his act was in self-defense of Sugawara? Justified self-defense indicates unintended harm to an assailant as a result of defensive action during an emergency. Yes, the question of whether it was justified or unjustified is key to deciding whether this was murder. Okazaki nodded and continued. A lot of facts would make more sense if this incident was a murder orchestrated by Sugawara. She might have had a lot of pent-up hostility, but even if she didn't, it's normal to desperately protect yourself if you fear for your life. I could accept this if she wasn't responding to the unexpected attack, but was instead reacting to an anticipated outcome that went too far. She wasn't attacked by someone she didn't know, but rather someone she had prior experience with, someone who'd made death threats against her. She knew the danger she was in, so she might have been mentally ready to kill her attacker. I can understand how that feels. But the person that killed the Stalker was just a random passerby, right? Yet, he managed to take the frenzied attacker's knife, stab his heart, and not get badly hurt. But Ogata had a defensive wound on his arm from the knife, right? It seems like the self-defense claims focused on that point. I mean, it could have all been blind luck. Things like that happen sometimes. If you ask me, it looks like he cut himself on purpose. On purpose? He only has one wound. Don't you think that's a really fortunate outcome for the situation? Shimizu was high and wildly flailing a knife around. On top of that, Ogata was also shielding Sugawara. But he got away with only a minor flesh wound. Perhaps Ogata is a composed fighter and is used to wielding edged weapons? Yeah, it sounds simple to say he stabbed Shimizu in the heart, but that's really tough to do. I had learned that at the police academy too. It was hard to target the heart, slightly left of the center mass, and also protected by the rib cage. I wouldn't expect a random passerby to try for such a high difficulty strike. Yeah, that kind of bugs me a lot in movies and stuff when they stab people in the heart so easily. It's like, it's really not that easy to get through the sternum or the rib cage. But you know, they always kill vampires by sticking like a freaking pencil in his chest. But I guess there's always a chance that a skilled martial artist in the area, or the guy just got one super lucky attack in. Yeah, that's all I'm saying, could be luck. Ogata's just a normal office worker, and it doesn't seem like he's trained in martial arts. There's still luck then. In that case, it's actually suspicious that Ogata is totally unacquainted with Shimizu or Sugawara. Yeah, if Shimizu wasn't a direct threat to him, I'd expect more hesitation from Ogata's actions. When you're not assertive and confident in your moves, it leaves you open in combat. Yeah. Hearing the qualified SP officer's opinion, I emphatically agreed. Looking at the entire scenario, there were just too many things that didn't add up. I see it now. Ogata's history is too suspicious. He was mistakenly arrested 2 years ago. He was a police murder suspect in May. And then he had just happened to kill a man in defense of a woman being attacked on the street? Yeah, if we take a big picture view of all this, Ogata's name comes up far too frequently. Yeah. Wanna go see him? Huh? Not really. I dealt with him another route. I don't want to deal with him again. I want new bad guys. Tomoki Ogata is in detention. You can see him in person if you want. It had been right under my nose. If we were to speak to Ogata in prison, I'd be able to clear up many of my suspicions. But if he actually told you the truth, there was something nagging at me.
Considering the contents of that note, Rika Sugawara is indeed suspected.
The investigator suspects Sugawara. If the burn victim this morning turned out to be her associate, it would only be a matter of time before she was brought in for questioning. I want to talk to her before that. If she had a hand in this because she felt trapped by her stalker, I had to put a stop to it. If she had nothing to do with it, then I needed to rule out any suspicions. Either way, I was worried.
I want to go see Ogata.
Huh? You want to go too?
Yeah, it's caught my interest.
Okazaki, you wouldn't also happen to be investigating X Day, would you? That face.
That's not it. I don't know anything about the other incidents. It's just that, for a while, I've been curious about the July incident.
Why that in particular? Speaking of which...
Why am I not asking that? They're deciding if it's excessive self-defense. I feel a little bad for him, being arrested when he attacked in order to protect someone. He did protect the woman from that stalker, didn't he? Sometimes, sacrifices have to be made. Yeah, that sounds like an Adonis thing to say. He had said something similar before. Maybe as an SP, he's interested in whether it really was done to protect someone. What about you? Are you going to? Of course I'm going to. Why wouldn't I? Oh. I'm going to see Ogata too. Want to go together? My suspicions of Ogata had only intensified after I reviewed the information with Okazaki. What kind of person was he? Was he connected to Adonis? If I was going to uncover the truth of X Day, I had to talk to him first. After that, I'll go to Sugawara. Let's go then. Any information would be nice. Okazaki plainly smiled in that manner of his that never let on what he was thinking. Just that cute little childish carefree smile he does. I lied and told Mochida I had a personal affair that I couldn't miss, and left work early. I hate to do this when there are so many calls. I insisted that he call me immediately if there was an emergency call. Hey, would you mind giving me your number? Sitting next to me, the first thing that Okazaki said once the taxi started moving instantly set my heart on edge. No? Oh, it's not that, but... Now that I thought about it, it had been a few days since we met, and we hadn't exchanged contact info yet. But it was still a problem if I got too close to him. It couldn't hurt having each other's phone numbers. I don't think, at least. I won't use it for anything weird. I just hope you'll call for help if you're ever in any danger. Yeah, I was thinking we could help each other out if something happens. I was still so panicked that I just blurted out whatever gibberish came to mind when he continued. Are you saying that you'll protect me? Yeah, you're investigating X Day even though it doesn't fall under your duties. I won't pry into your reasons, but it seems like you're just trying your best to protect everyone you can as a police officer. So you're going to be in danger. Even though you have Yanagi's team for support, you don't have any partners within the office. Detective work isn't my forte, but I can protect you if things ever go south. Okazaki. His supposed motives and gentle tone warmed my heart. So, let me protect you. If anything happens, just count on me, okay? He grinned, and I also smiled and nodded in response. Thank you. I'm happy to hear it. He had his own mission, but I was glad that Okazaki was worried about me. Me too. I was glad that a fellow police officer had affirmed what I was trying to do. I thought I had to pursue this on my own, but I've always been uneasy about it. I was just a burden to Yanagi's team. Even while I struggled to contribute, I was painfully aware of my own uselessness. But that's something you need to do now. It's something that only you can do. While I was confused in front of the fire this morning, he had told me that. I realized that I had only realized my purpose in that moment because Okazaki had been there for me. He's helped me so much in such a short time. While I had people I was cooperating with, I hadn't met anyone I would consider an ally. But now that Okazaki was talking this way, I really wanted to have him as an ally. Let's exchange numbers and email addresses then. Okay. I added Kei Okazaki to my phone's list of contacts. How reassuring. We hadn't known each other long, and we still didn't know much about each other. But just today alone, he had already helped me many times. Moreover, he said I could keep relying on him. It was heartening in a way I couldn't describe. I think Ichika's not being paranoid enough in this route. Oh right, don't you have to protect Yanagi's team today? That's okay. Yoshinari will cover them. Ah, so that's Yoshinari's job in this. That's why he's in here, so that Kei can hang out with me a lot more and seem less suspicious about not hanging out with the guys at the office. They aren't your average civilians. Honestly, they don't need 24/7 protection. That's true. The fact that he understood this seemed to be an implicit acknowledgement that his protection assignment was just for pretenses. So, they suspect Yanagi's team after all? If that was true, it would be natural that he suspected me by association. Our exchange of numbers and his offer of protection could just be part of his surveillance. Which is it? This weighs heavily on me. It doesn't matter because you didn't do anything wrong. So, don't mind if it's both. Okazaki's smile and his words. His voice that had encouraged me this morning. I don't want to down him. I didn't want to think that it was all lies. Even if I was under suspicion, I didn't want to just deny everything he'd done for me. Just as my spirits began to deflate, my phone vibrated in my hand. Is that you, Okazaki? Huh? Because it had jarred me out of a taxing strain of thought, I yelped in surprise. The sender of the message was none other than Okazaki, who was literally right next to me. Yeah, I figured he would do that. Huh? I want to see you laugh. Stay strong. I looked up with a blank expression on my face. Okazaki was grinning. Oh, what a thing to say. After somebody says something like that to you, are you going to say, "Do you suspect me?" No, the polite thing to do would be to say thanks. I must have made him worry. Maybe him texting as opposed to saying it directly was his way of showing he cared. The thought made me feel warm inside, so I typed out a heartfelt reply. Thank you. He replied immediately. You're welcome. And he made a cute little face. I couldn't stifle a giggle. It seemed unlike Okazaki to use an emoji in a message. I don't know, it looks like it's in his personality to me. Afterward, he continued texting while we were right beside each other. I'm hungry. What should I have for dinner? Are you eating at home? My brother likes hamburg. I prepared the base yesterday, and it's sitting in the refrigerator. Sounds good. I'll eat hamburg too. Will you cook it yourself? No, you're gonna cook it, Ichika. I can't make that. I'll find a place. Oh, his little emojis are so cute. It was an odd feeling, texting while we were right next to each other. I must say, it was a lot of fun. The frivolous moments were enough to make me forget about all the day's stress. Would you cook it for me one day? Huh? When I looked up, Okazaki was waiting for me with an expectant expression. Maybe if there's time. Yay, looking forward to it. I didn't say I would, though. While exchanging carefree messages, our eyes met, and we smiled. This is so relaxing. I felt better when I was with Okazaki. I also realized that I could smile naturally. The moments lazily passed, and I embraced their comfort. Oh, too bad it can't last much longer. Strife can only be so long. Finally, the approval to perform an interview came down. Ogata was pale. Before we could introduce ourselves, he leaned in and started speaking. Oh, eager beaver, aren't you?
I'm innocent.
Yes, we know.
It was self-defense. There are witnesses who can back me up. So why is it taking so long for this to go to trial?
You're talking to the wrong people, bud. That's...
Even you people should understand, if you don't recognize the legitimacy of my case, the police are going to make a big mistake.
He must have been referring to his mistaken arrest in the past. In May, Ogata was marked as a suspect because the police had thought he was acting out of revenge for his prior mistaken arrest. Then, he was at the center of an incident in July, and now he was here in jail. Calm down. We came here to ask you some questions. Okazaki spoke to Ogata in a calm tone. So, you say it was in self-defense. You stabbed the victim directly in the heart. Were you trained to do that?
I don't know what you're talking about. That was just by accident. It was completely random, and I got him in the heart after I took the knife from him.
Ogata boldly spat out a retort while glaring at Okazaki. But it was easy to pick up the quivering in his voice.
A coincidence, you say?
It's possible.
That's what I keep saying. So, you just happened to be passing by, just happened to pick up Shimizu's knife, and just happened to stab him in the heart with one shot.
It's possible!
What are you getting at?
Weirder things have happened, really. Ogata was clearly irritated by Okazaki's unflinching calm.
Are you trying to say that I killed that man on purpose? That means you must be working for the assumption that I provoked the Stalker into attacking so that I could kill him in self-defense. Then what's my relationship to Shimizu? My motive? Where's your proof that I'm connected to these X-Day murders?
Seeing that we didn't have any answers, Ogata smiled triumphantly.
See, you got nothing. Yet you cops are treating me like a criminal for being that woman's hero. It was the same back in May. They just assumed I must have killed those cops out of revenge for arresting me before. You know that I've got a rock-solid alibi. I was traveling overseas at the time.
That's right. You couldn't possibly have committed the crime.
Psh, changing your tune? That's how you dirty cops should be. How many people do you think have gotten hurt by your sloppy investigations? The police will never find the truth, not while you only think of meeting quotas by trampling on victims and coercing their confessions. I bet those X-Day crimes have still been going on while I've been locked up in here. Why don't you try solving those?
I had no retort for that. We're trying to. There's been so many crimes. Doesn't mean we're still not investigating you and other ones too, though. The truth was that the X-Day crimes were ongoing, and the body count continued to pile up. Even while I'm here now, somebody could be... When I gripped my knees in frustration, Okazaki put his hand on mine. When I looked up, Okazaki was staring straight at Ogata. It felt like the warmth of Okazaki's hand was calming me down.
But it makes sense that you suspect me.
Huh? Suddenly, Ogata leaned back in his chair, adopting a confident smile.
I must say, I'm grateful to Adonis. After all, they've shown the world just how corrupt your police are. I agree with the way that they think. They're taking justice into their own hands.
His smile disappeared, and he folded his hands.
I was living an utterly dull life. I had a family, a job, and a place to go home to. It was a normal, happy life. But one day, my normal was completely obliterated.
A deep, stern, hollow voice emanated from Ogata's lips.
2 years ago, it should have been a day just like any other day. On the way to work, I stepped in to break up a fight with nothing but good intentions. I didn't do anything. I was just leading a normal life, but...
Ogata regained some of his composure and looked into our eyes.
It was the same in May this year. I did nothing wrong, but once again they treated me like a criminal. And in July, all I did was try to help a woman, but my actions of defense had gotten twisted into an assault. You'll never learn. No matter how often it happens, you paint people guilty just because you predetermine their guilt.
Ogata's words cut straight to my heart. Truthfully, I couldn't deny that there were problems in the police force.
Can you imagine it? The pain of losing your entire world in a moment. Trust, honor, love, hope, everything. Everyone everywhere looks at me like I'm some kind of dirty criminal. My wife and child left me after I'd been branded a criminal. The company I'd worked for ages treated me like a tumor. I've been excised from all society. Every sign that I existed is gone.
I couldn't say anything. I was touched by Ogata's tragedy, and I didn't think it could all be lies. Despite his constant brushes with the X-Day crimes, the first mistaken arrest must have... I'm sure that he just wanted to live a peaceful life at some point.
And there are many more like me. People who have had their lives ruined by the police, whose hatred burns, and who view Adonis as just. I've done nothing. The day will come when my actions are finally recognized as just.
With that, Ogata shut his mouth. We wouldn't get any more out of him. Okazaki also made to leave the room, but then... I can't understand the way you feel at all, he murmured. But can I ask you one last question? He looked at Ogata with lonely eyes. You'd gone through quite the ordeal, all because you were just trying to stop a fight. And then you did the exact same thing again. Woman in danger aside, why did you choose to step into another altercation? Ogata answered Okazaki's question with wordless silence.
For justice.
Then he uttered that short phrase in an expressionless voice. Ogata had nothing to say after that. We left the detention center. On the way back, Okazaki mumbled. Okay, and we'll end the video there. I mean, I understand what the game's saying. When the police would suspect that, after being arrested twice, you would never want to help anybody again because you would think, why bother? Because I'm just going to keep getting arrested. I mean, there are some people that would still try to help other people anyway, even if there was danger involved. In spite of the traumatic events that happened to them in the past, I think some people would still. I'd like to think I would, but honestly, I can't say I would. I'd have to actually experience it myself and see if I'm that honorable or not. I really think I would if it involved my family. But honestly, for strangers, I don't think I would be that brave, if I'm being completely honest. Alright, well anyway, hope to see you in the next video. So glad Kei came back and wasn't gone too long. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'd be so grateful for any likes, comments, subscriptions, or shares with your friends to show some support. Have a good night, everybody. Dirili signing out.